Africa is typically viewed as technologically and everywise backward. The question is, how true is this? Candidly, because she's a continent dominated by third world nations, her greatest stories have not been heard. Channels through which great stories can be told about her people, history, and potential for the purpose of her definition belong to the Western world. The channels decide how, when, and at what frequency she shows up, especially with mainstream media. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, a Nigerian writer celebrated by the literary world, talked about the danger of a single story. Show a people as one thing, as only one thing, over and over again, and this is what they become. By this, she meant seeing people from the angle of the most popular images projected about them, the narratives, the stereotypes, the singular theme echoed by the stories told about them. When my son was in middle school, he was asked if he came to America in an airplane. Born here and having very close family here, we visited the US fairly often over the years before we moved here. He was taken aback by the question because he did not think there was any other sensible way to get from Africa to the US. Thankfully, his very playful side got the better of him as he replied that he swam here. He was to answer other awkwardly offensive questions like if he commuted on the back of an animal to school, if he learned under a tree, and if he had a restroom inside of his house. The questions were as ridiculous as asking if Americans use kerosene lamps as a source of light. Evidence exists that points the origin of arithmetic equations, abstract designs, and symbols, as well as some form of surgery to Africa before colonization. Priceless artifacts, evidence of great skill in various aspects of art, science, and culture, lie as exhibits in some of the greatest museums of the world. The avant-garde nature of these antiquities earned them a place there. The Bini bronze, a symbol of art par excellence. Egyptian mummies, evidence of mind-blowing science, and thousands of others are still being studied till date. One wonders what might have become of Africa's science and technology if it had been left alone to develop organically. Taye Selassie, American writer of Nigerian and Ghanaian origin, gives us a glimpse when she says, "We can never go back to a place and find it exactly where we left it. Something, somewhere, will always have changed. Most of all, ourselves. Africans have changed, and people drive change, don't they?" As I think of the types of stories that have defined how Africans are perceived, I see only pictures of hunger, sickness, and lack. It is worthy of note, though, that there are the economically disadvantaged, the middle class, and the rich, very much like I found in every Western country and all over the world, as a matter of fact. In present-day Africa, Nigeria for example, people live in decent homes, all en suite, go to high schools that prepare them to study and succeed in universities in any Western country, have access to health care, have sophisticated shopping malls, hotels, banks, and a plethora of other modern day infrastructure found in big cities and towns. This is not to say Africa has no problems or that some of the stories told are not true. It is to say that there are so many other stories, types of stories that are untold or not told enough.